I'm Noah.
And I'm Marci.
We grew up watching Disney Channel, and every few months, a new Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, would be released.
When we were kids, we used to love spending those nights getting snacks and watching new, sometimes relatable movies on our favorite channel.
Well, now we're not really kids anymore, but we thought that we could revisit our younger selves by rewatching all 110 DCOMs and counting, and we want you to join us for the nostalgia.
So, every Wednesday, we're sharing our thoughts and feelings on the DCOM of the week. So join us, the DCOM kids, as we recap Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Yeah. Yes. So, full disclosure here. This is our second time recording this episode because the last time it just there's an audio issue and I was like, oh, whatever, we'll just post it anyway. And right when I was about to post it, I was like, no.
No, it was just too rough.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that other than just being
full disclosure, I guess.
Yeah. A little irritated and hoping that like I think what the whole thing right now is that I'm like hoping that I'm not like super like bleh, I guess.
Yeah,
we're going through it this
I already
time.
Read through this once.
And like trying to like, because like it's weird because it's like we had a lot of like random things that we would pop in the middle, and it's like I don't really want to like forcefully recreate those because that's annoying, but I kind of want like some of them were like interesting points or like funny things, and it's like it'd be fun, it'd be good to like bring it back. But
and I think as we go we'll just naturally,
I think so too,
because that's just how we are. We like to go off on tangents as well. So,
but maybe this time we'll go on a couple less tangents. Because I kind of went crazy last time, and it was weird.
We can add those to our final thoughts at the end.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's just kick off with the release date and our writers.
Yes. So, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off was released in 2003, and it was written by Jack Jason, Rick Bitzelberger, and Dan Berenson. Berenson.
Yeah, Berenson sounds good to me. Yeah. All right, and then our lovely cast. Go ahead and start with the left side.
All right. We start off with Taylor Ball, who played Eddie Ogden.
Orlando Brown played Francisco.
Riley McClendenin played DB.
Mark L. Taylor played Hank Ogden.
Rose McIver played sounded like I said MacGyver, sorry.
That's okay.
Played Hannah.
Kylie Linden played Bridget Simmons. Damn.
Simons.
Oh, I did it right. I did it right. Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that was in the first one where I purposefully read her name wrong because that's how it goes in the movie.
Yeah.
But I thought I said it right on accident.
No, you said it correctly.
Okay.
No.
Correctly, incorrectly.
Yes, you said it the way you wanted to. Oh, next we have Bobby Flay as Bobby Flay.
What a concept there. Susan Brady played Sarah Ogden.
Nick Miller played Alex Ogden.
And Johnny Baker played Andy Ogden.
I think we already talked about this, but were they twins or was Andy older? I
believe they were supposed to be twins in the movie because I am 99% sure when his dad, I think it's right after he signs up for home ec and he gets home. And his dad asks if he signed up for computer science, like the twins suggested.
He just said your brothers.
Somebody says twins eventually. I'm almost certain that they're supposed to be twins.
I'll take your word for it. I can't remember if they do or not.
I think there's one line, at least one line, where someone says something about the twins.
Okay.
But now I'm questioning if that's a thing or if I'm just remembering it that way.
Yeah.
We could Google it if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that.
You can look it up at home.
Yeah. Go ahead and Google that yourself.
Or you can watch the movie and tell us.
Yes. Maybe we'll rewatch the movie after this and we'll have a rebuttal next week.
All right. My director?
Yes.
Okay. It was directed by Paul Hohen,
who is a returning director.
Yes.
And I wanted to, this time we go through it, I want to go look and see what else he's directed.
Okay.
Because we're going to do the same thing with someone else later.
Sure.
And the music was composed by David Katay. We switched these.
We did. Yep. Because I definitely said Kitay last time.
Yes.
Anyway, and the movie was edited by our returning editor, Terry Stokes.
And cinematography was done by Donald Duncan. Yeah, usually Terry Stokes is accompanied by another Stokes. I tried to look it up and see if they were like brothers, or if it was like a brother-sister, or if it was husband and wife. I was trying to figure it out and I couldn't see, but we're going to go see what else Paul Hoen has directed. I'm fairly certain Alley Cat Strike is one of them.
Paul
Hoen, our director. We got to see what else he did first.
The Luck of the Irish.
So not Alley Cat Strike.
You Wish.
That would have happened already.
And True Confessions.
Some of the better ones on this list. And now what about Terry Stokes? Now
Terry Stokes is
who
a
is the
lot.
other one? There was
space.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it not pulling up?
There should be a bunch, but then there should be a couple where it's Terry and something Stokes.
So we have Miracle in Lane 2, but yeah, that was Terry alone for Miracle in Lane 2. Deborah Light and Terry did You Wish.
Interesting.
Just Terry did A Ring of Endless Light.
Okay.
Benjamin D. Stokes and Terry Stokes did Jumping Ship.
Yes.
And those two also did Xenon the Sequel. Those are the only ones that popped up, but...
Well, that's probably all. But that is a lot of DCOMs. I mean, we're what?
That's 6 DCOMs for Terry Stokes.
Yeah. And we're like, what, 15, maybe 20 DCOMs in right now?
So many DCOMs in right now.
Hard to say. I don't know. I lost track of the count, but it's fine. Well, let's get going on this thing and head into that Disney Plus summary.
Disney Plus summary. Eddie Ogden, a baseball prodigy with a knack for the culinary arts, surprises everyone when he enters a major cooking competition on the same day as his team's playoff game. With Eddie spending more time in the kitchen than on the field, he starts striking out with his friends and even with his own father. Will he be able to fulfill his obligation to the team and still be true to himself?
Well, let's find out in our Scene by Scene, written by Marci. We swing into action as we watch a small baseball field and a team practicing for their opening game of the season. And let's just say they're the underdogs. As two players start fighting over who is going to catch the ball, and another tripping over their own shoelaces. Marci's biggest pet peeve, because you guys, Marci works with children like a lot. And I imagine running around on stage, this is probably like a constant.
Yeah, between untied shoelaces, Crocs, and slides.
Yeah.
No more shoes. Everybody's barefoot from now on.
Fair enough. We then go to find one player catching a ball and breaking his hand from the force of the ball. Then we see DB swinging at the ball comedically and unrealistically, smashing it into the concessions, breaking a bit more than just a few things. Then we meet Eddie, the star player of the Groundhogs.
Next, as Coach Hank is giving a pep talk, we meet our final team member, Hannah, who is late because her mom thinks she's trying out to be a cheerleader. As the game starts, the Groundhogs are off to a great start as they get their first out. Unfortunately, that didn't last as they lose the game 3-10. As the team is leaving the field feeling discouraged, Eddie has an idea to boost his friends' morale by making his famous Eddie Dogs, which is basically just a hot dog with everything but the kitchen sink on it.
Once back at home, Frankie, DB, Eddie, and his brothers are fighting over the TV remote. Hank pulls Eddie to the side, telling him if he ever wants to stop being a groundhog and move to a team that was better, he would support him. But while Sarah, Eddie's mom, and Hank are arguing about whether Eddie will become a professional baseball player, Eddie is enthralled by Bobby Flay on the TV. but is quickly pulled back to reality when DB and Eddie's brother come running back in to the living room, and Sarah shrieks in pain as she has just cut her finger while preparing dinner.
After Sarah, Hank, Alex, and Andy leave for the hospital for Sarah to get stitches, Eddie decides instead of putting away the food, they're going to cook it. And that's exactly what they do, with a hilarious montage of Eddie, Frankie, and DB pulling out cereal for an extra crunch or spices to make it taste nice. The trio make an amazing mashed potatoes and fried chicken volcano replica with cranberry sauce as the lava, carrots as lava stones, I think. I don't know. There were carrots there. And broccoli as the trees, and surprises the family as they all return from the ER. And even though Alex and Andy are skeptical at first, saying, "There's no way I'm eating that," we skip to the meal being completely devoured and Alex and Andy fighting over the last drumstick. Eddie is feeling so proud of his creation and excited that it was a hit, but that feeling quickly diminishes when his brothers and dad start teasing him about trading his baseball mitt for an oven mitt.
I just want to jump back just a quick second from like the beginning of that paragraph. Mm-hmm. Why did Alex and Andy go to the ER with them? Did I miss something?
So it's because Hank isn't good with blood and he starts to pass out. Oh. And so Andy's comforting him in the backseat while Alex is driving to the hospital.
That sounds like it was really just a CPD.
Yeah.
Convenient plot device.
Yeah.
To get them so that just Eddie and his friends were home.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite sequences, though. The whole thing where he's cooking.
I love that.
We'll get to that later, though. The next day, we see our trio discussing which elective they are going to sign up for between woodshop and computer science. On their way, Eddie is pulled towards a classroom that he's never noticed before, the home economics classroom. Next, in all the hubbub, the crazy crowd of students at the sign-ups, Eddie pushes his way through and is placed in quite a predicament when he sees the computer science sign-up is right next to the home economics one and is faced with a decision. Make his friends happy or answer the call he doesn't quite understand. So, in a quick thinking moment, he pulls the pin and makes all of the sign-up clipboards fall on the ground and grabs one of the clipboards and holds it up for Frankie and DB to sign. But, to their surprise, they have just signed up for home ec. Dum bum bum.
While in their first home ec class, we meet Bridget, the home ec queen. She takes this class more seriously than any other student. And after telling Bridget to stop scaring the new students, Miss Hadley goes on to talk about the $1 million cook-off and offers a flyer to anyone who wants to participate. And of course, Bridget snatches one right out of her hands. But nobody else seems interested. Then we go on to their first lesson, making cookies. And boy, does our team of home ec misfits learn their first lesson. Cooking time and temperatures are very important, as they have set one of the ovens on fire due to the increased temperature. Of course, Bridget has made hers perfectly and is more than happy to brag about it, stating, "There's no way I'm going to be able to eat all of these, but I'll try." After class, we see Eddie run back into the classroom to grab his bag, and while he's in there, he also grabs a form for the $1 million cook-off.
That night, Eddie decides decides it's perfect time to come up with his own original recipe for the cook-off. And we go into another cooking montage where there will be a few things. Be ready. And they happen like every 20 minutes. Not even, probably every 10 minutes. And Eddie is throwing all kinds of items into a bowl and mixing furiously as it spills out out of the bowl and onto his dog Buster's head. After about 4 or 5 attempts to make something unique of his own, he settles in for a PB&J sandwich, which sparks an idea for a PB&J creation. I'm not sure all the ingredients he throws into the blender, but there is definitely peanut butter and jelly in there. And as he turns the blender on full blast, it seems, it explodes, covering the kitchen and Buster.
The next evening, we see Hank giving Eddie a stern coaching about how he seems distracted and isn't playing to his full potential. And if Eddie if Eddie isn't going to take baseball seriously, then why should Hank? Then he realizes he's being too much of a coach and needs to reel it in and be more of a dad. Asking him how school was and if he signed up for computer science like his brothers told him to. And to not upset Hank, Eddie lies and says, "It was our first choice." The next morning in home ec, while learning about the differences of ingredients like yeast, baking soda, and baking powder, half the class is asleep or not paying any attention. Once Mrs. Hadley finishes her lecture, she snaps them back to attention and they all move to their cooking station. But Eddie goes to Bridget to talk about the cook-off. He gets interrupted by DB, and to distract from what he was actually doing, Eddie starts a food fight, and of course, everyone joins. And they all get into trouble and have to clean the whole classroom and get a full month of detention.
Dumb. So dumb.
So dumb.
While they're cleaning the home ec room, Frankie finds a bowl of purple goopy stuff and decides he's going to eat it. Once Eddie tastes it, he goes into full chef mode, trying to figure out what is in the sauce. That night, he goes home and recreates the purple sauce. Later that weekend, at the baseball game, Eddie has brought along his sauce recreation, and one of his teammates, Oliver, finds it and starts digging in, getting purple all over his face. And when Frankie sees it, he instantly recognizes what it is. And then he asks Eddie if he brought that. Hannah quickly comes to his defense and says it's a recipe her mom found in a magazine. And a wave of relief floods Eddie's face. And as he steps to the plate, he hears his teammates tell Hannah it's the best sauce they've ever tasted, which makes Eddie smile with pride as he makes his way up to bat. And hits home run, and the Groundhogs have won the game.
Ooh, there's probably more gameplay in there, but that's all I saw.
Yeah, well.
Later, back at Eddie's house, they're throwing a party for the team's victory in the game, and we hear Hank and his assistant coach Longo talking about their rivals, the Eagles coach, being a nurse as his day job.
We saved that to the end last time.
The next day, we see Eddie grab a small package out of his locker and make his way to the home ec room when he bumps into Mrs. Hadley and Bridget going over her recipe for the cook-off. And Eddie realizes he needs to write out his original recipe and exact measurements, or he'd be disqualified. So he rushes home to remake his sauce and write out his recipe. Once he's home, he goes for the sugar, but they're all out. And just then, his mom plops down sugar onto the counter, and Eddie explains everything to her. Then, after promising not to tell his brothers or dad, she offers to help him, and he mails his creation off.
Later in class, they're making Jell-O, and as a prank, DB, Frankie, and Hannah put a plate of Jell-O in Bridget's seat, and she sits on it, making the whole class burst into laughter. Poor Bridget. Then we go into another montage of Eddie checking the mail and playing baseball. And then we cut into the home ec class where Mrs. Hadley makes the announcement that Bridget and Eddie made it into the finals of the $1 Million Cook-Off. And the whole class rushes to Eddie in amazement. But this upsets DB. After confronting him, they come to terms and accept that Eddie can like two things at the same time. After rushing home to stop his dad from seeing his acceptance into the cook-off, he is met with his brothers making fun of him, and his dad disappointed and is surprised to learn that Sarah knew and is upset when Sarah tells him she understands why Eddie was afraid to tell Hank about the cook-off.
After being made fun of and ridiculed for being the only boy in his age group to be accepted, life at school wasn't easy. Then, after choosing cook-off training over catch with his friends, we go into yet another montage of Eddie cooking and watching Bobby Flay on the cooking channel to playing baseball. And then, after losing a game, Frankie is trying to make everyone feel better by saying, "It was only our second loss of the season. Normally, we've lost 6 or 7 by now." And DB chimes in with, Maybe we won more than you. The next day, after Eddie finishes making a souffle, he notices he is extremely late to the game, and when he arrives, everyone is upset because they're losing. And Hank tells Eddie he's out of the game after missing 3 innings, which is almost half the game.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a third of the game, we learned, yeah. Then the next day, we learn the playoffs, and the playoff of the the final game of the season and the cook-off are on the same day, and DB and Eddie start another food fight in the cafeteria. And now they're punished by cleaning the cafeteria for the rest of the school year.
Later at another cooking lesson, Mrs. Hadley, Eddie finally loses his cool and decides to leave and go back to where he belongs, the baseball field. While Coach Hank is giving a pep talk, he makes the mistake of saying the other team's pitcher, quote, throws like a girl, which, to his surprise, Kimberly steps up and says, I throw like a girl because I am a girl, and pulls his attention to how he's been speaking to the team, asking, why is it a compliment to run like a boy, but an insult to run like a girl? Can't I be a good runner or a bad runner? And this sparks the rest of the team to speak up, with Oliver saying his dad is a nurse, he saves people's lives, and another teammate saying, my dad's a florist, and Hannah piping in, asking, why do I have to be one of the guys? Can't I just be part of the team? Then Eddie runs in, asking why everyone is just standing around, because, quote, we've got a game to win. To which they do.
Wahoo! Wahoo! Back at the Ogden's house, they're hosting another victory party when Mrs. Hadley shows up begging Eddie to go to the cook-off, but is shocked when he says he can't because of the playoffs being the same day. So she urges him to take the night to think it over. The next day, we see Eddie in his baseball uniform walking through the cook-off, admiring all the kitchen stations, when he meets the one and only Bobby Flay, who is disappointed to hear Eddie won't be sticking around. Then we cut to the field where we see Eddie arriving late, but happy to be with his friends. The game starts, and we're off to a great start, until Frankie is watching the cook-off on his tiny TV. And then, all of a sudden, Eddie is off his game, and they start losing. And after a pep talk with his friends, Eddie rushes off to the cook-off.
At the cook-off, we see Eddie running in to join the competition, but he doesn't get any more time. He'll have to compete with the remaining 1 hour and 3 minutes. Next, we see a clip for clip going back and forth between the cook-off and the baseball game. The Groundhogs catching up to the Eagles, and Eddie floundering at the cook-off. Things aren't looking good. Back at the game, we see Hannah getting ready to go up to bat when her mom shows up with her pom-poms. And after Hannah and her mom have a quick, well, one really quick, but that gave me anxiety because the umpire was like, get back over here. You got a bat. And she's just over there like, are you sure, Mom? And she's like, girl, just go. Worry about that later. It made me anxious, but it was we got there in the end. But they have a heart-to-heart. Hank realizes he needs to help his son. So he gets himself ejected from the game to get to the cook-off to help Eddie, even though he doesn't know a lick about cooking.
Finally, as the timer is running out, all of the competitors at the cook-off are placing their final dishes on the judging table. The Groundhogs are neck and neck with the Eagles. Eddie is finishing his chocolate chicken. He tells Hank to get the lemon custard out of the fridge. But alas, it didn't set, and he needs lemons as part of his dish, or he will be disqualified. So, with some quick thinking, Hank pitches him a perfect throw of a lemon, and Eddie zests his chicken, with just 2 seconds to spare. Back at the game, DB is up to bat, and as he's going back and forth between third and home, we cut back to Bobby Flay announcing the winner of the cook-off. Going back to the game, DB slides under the catcher and is safe. The Groundhogs win the game. But Eddie didn't win the cook-off. Instead, Bridget wins. Obviously upset, Hank finally talks to Eddie, and we have our inevitable father-son heart-to-heart moment. And he is quickly cheered up with the arrival of his friends, who show up with the game-winning trophy. And they all leave to celebrate the Groundhog's winnings. And they even invite Bridget along to celebrate her winning the cook-off. Celebrate her winning the cook-off.
And that, friends, is Eddie's $1 million cook-off.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. So what was your favorite scene in this whole shindig? I know you already told me last time, but I have to pretend I don't already know.
To pretend I don't know. Why am I forgetting?
I don't know.
What did I say last time?
I don't know.
You're like, I forgot too.
I think one of your favorite scenes that you talked about was
I just love the whole movie.
It's such a good movie.
Like,
it really is. I really enjoyed, like I said earlier, the sequence where they're initially cooking all the food, like the week's worth of groceries, it seems.
Yeah.
When they're cooking all that up, I just love watching them like throwing the spices to each other, and like, I don't know, it's just entertaining. So that's one of my favorite scenes. I think one of my other favorite scenes is probably, as annoying as it was that it happened twice, the first food fight I enjoyed. The second food fight was just annoying.
Yeah. I think it's so funny how Eddie's like, to avoid his friends thinking bad of him, I guess, he's like, I'll just throw food at them.
Right. Let me just start a food fight and get detention for a month.
Let's just get in trouble at school rather than my friends think I'm a weirdo.
Right.
You know?
Which kind of takes us on to another point that we had talked about last time, which is just that, like, the attitude of some of the dudes in this movie. I was like, it wasn't even just the dudes, because, like, Hannah's mom is, well, and again, we said this last time, I guess. Yeah. Hannah's mom is not actually kind of that, like, have that, like, split mentality, right? Where only guys do these things and only girls do these things. But Hannah thinks she is, and like assumes she is. Yeah. And I would imagine it's because at one point in her childhood growing up, there was that kind of thing, but like she's like less worried about it now or whatever, or she's, I don't know. But yeah, like Frank is like Hank. Really Hank is like a really annoying dude about it.
He's very annoying.
Like he's very like sexist about it. And like I agree like with the whole thing, like saying someone throws like a girl, like
that could be a compliment.
It depends on the girl. Like, you know, honestly, I know girls who throw way better than me, so saying that I throw like a girl would be a huge compliment. You'd be like, thank you. What would be an insult is saying, wow, you throw like a Noah. And I would be like, that's me.
Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I also know, you know, it's like, there's girls who don't throw very well. There's guys who don't throw very well. Like,
it all depends on the person.
Right.
Like,
But I do understand why that had to be, why that's like how Hank's character was written, because he had to have somewhere to grow to.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, what would have been the point?
Had to develop his character.
Yeah.
And like we had to see Eddie go through like not wanting to disappoint his dad by being girly.
Right.
To like his dad being like, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
And like at the competition when he cracks the egg with one hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, how'd you do that?
Like watch Bobby Flay.
Right. And that I do love that when he first meets Bobby Flay, like in person, he's just like, oh, you're just another dude.
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, it's Bobby Flay.
Right.
Like he's not starstruck,
but like
really.
Not really. They just have a conversation.
Yeah. Which is like cool, but at the same time it's unrealistic. Because I think if I met Bobby Flay, I'd be like, oh, you are Bobby Flay.
It's Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
all right, we're gonna give this thing a ranking.
Yes.
I know when we first recorded, we had one set of ranking, but I have a better one that's funnier.
A better.
Yeah. So we're gonna go 0 to 5 unset lemon custards.
Unset lemon custard. 4.5.
4.5 unset lemon custards. I agree, and that's because we already talked.
About it. But it was souffle last time.
Yeah.
But I like unset custard.
I think it's funnier.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our rating.
4.5 lemons.
4.5 zested lemons. What are your final thoughts? Like we kind of already did final thoughts, I think.
Yeah.
Just did that out of order a little bit, but that's
just a little out of order. It's okay. No, this is a great movie. Like I remember when it first came out, we we were all enthralled with the movie itself.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know. I think it was a really good coming of age moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Where like, let's see, in 2000, I guess I was only 7 in 2003.
Yeah.
But
old enough to
like understand it. But like when I watched it later, you know, as a teenager and stuff, I was like, oh, you really can like more than one thing at once.
Right,
and like we said before, I think with High School Musical too.
Yeah, it's
like that same thing. Where so like those were like my movies, and like Alley Cat Strike, this, and High School Musical were like my trio.
Yeah,
these were the movies I watched on repeat because why not?
Yeah, and they were like some of the most relatable ones. I think.
Yeah,
especially
and of course,
as I got older.
Of course, we watched Xenon all the time too. But
I love Xenon
and the Cheetah Girls, and I don't know. I just
yes.
Aside from like A Ring of Endless Light. And
like Stepsisters from Planet Weird.
Oh no, I loved Stepsister from Planet Weird.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were going with.
What's the horse one?
Oh, horse. No, hold on. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and we all went, have we seen that?
It was horse. The horse.
And we watched it, and we went. I've definitely watched it once.
Yeah.
But I think I was getting that mixed up with Racing Stripes.
Yes.
What is it called? What was it
I
called?
don't know. It's not in my.
It should
list
be
here.
It should be. Hold on.
I have Phantom of the Megaplex, Xenon, the sequel, Motocrossed, Luck of the Irish, Jumping Ship, Hounded, Poof Point, Double Teamed, Connect Kelly, True Confessions, Get a Clue, Gotta Kick It Up, A Ring of Endless Light, You Wish, Right on Track, and the Even Stevens Movie and Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Those are the only things I have in my folder.
Hold on, I'll find it.
It's gonna be right. Like as soon as you say it, my brain's gonna click, and it's gonna be really funny. But
I need to go to my shared.
Anywho, next week we will be rewatching Cheetah Girls. So if you guys want to get it right,
yes.
If you guys want to get a head start on that, go watch Cheetah Girls this week. And Adriana and I will be going live on Monday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time for another episode of Noah Parker's World of Wonder. And if you want the audio-only version of that will be available on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time. So you can get that in there too. Make sure you follow us over on our social medias. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Noah Parker's World of Wonder. And you can also follow us or subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Noah Parker channel. You can find that by searching for Noah Parker _channel on YouTube. And Marci has found it. So we're going to go turn back over there and see what that movie was.
Ready to Run.
Ready to Run. Actually, you said that and it did not ring any bells.
Yep.
That's funny because I expected you to say it and my brain was gonna be like, oh yeah, but you said it and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So aside from those movies, every DCOM was like on repeat for us.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway.
Well, there you go. I think that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sorry it was late, but it should still be to Wednesday because I'm planning on literally finishing and editing and uploading this right away. So,
perfect.
We hope you enjoyed it. We hope to see you next week for Cheetah Girls. But until then, my dear friends, let the wonder take hold.